As we have seen this week, our works or our fruit are actually a demonstration of our faith in Jesus Christ. But be careful of your motivation for these kind of works. Good morning. I'm Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Friday. In Matthew chapter 23, Jesus spoke to his followers about the scribes and the Pharisees. He said they sit in Moses' seat. That just means that they feel they are the judge over everyone else. And he warns them in that chapter in verse 5, but all their works that they do are to be seen by men. They make their phylacteries broad and they enlarge the borders of their garments. They love the best places at feasts and the best seats in the synagogue. In other words, Jesus said they do all that they do in order to be seen of men. This is really a sad picture of what the hierarchy of the Jewish religion of that day had become. As a matter of fact, Jesus even said that they bind heavy burdens on men's shoulders that they cannot and will not attempt to bear themselves. Have you ever seen people in the church or perhaps in the religious community who think that it is their job to make the spiritual rules for everyone else to follow? When I was a young person, I saw a lot of that, and it was usually about the length of a boy's hair or the length of a girl's skirt. One of them was always way too long, and one of them was always way too short. I'll let you figure out which was which there. But there are those who think that they should burden others with some laws or some rules. What is allowed on the Sabbath day, perhaps, or what kind of lives they should live. It sounds a lot like the Pharisees, doesn't it? We need to realize that mature Christians can actually make their own determinations on their own lives, how they live it, or what they wear, where they go. Not having someone else to lord over them. That is certainly not our job, all right? But the practice that Jesus was condemning here was that their works they do to be seen by men. In other words, they're not performing religious practices to please the Lord, or they are not obeying Scripture to be acceptable in the Lord's eyes. They're not really producing good fruit or any kind of demonstration of their faith. It's just to be seen of men. And the picture he gives is of their broad phylacteries. They were strips of parchment that they hung from maybe their forehead or their arms with scripture verses on them that always made them look super spiritual. Also, they enlarged their borders, which meant that the fringe on their garment was long and flowing, and everyone saw how religious they were whenever they walked down the street. Enlarging their borders. Do we ever do that kind of thing in order to make ourselves look more religious? This is not the calling of God upon the lives of his servants. Nothing we do should be for the praise or even the notice of other men. The only reason we work to serve the Lord, the only reason we have good works and fruit is to be well-pleasing in his sight. And our faith in Jesus Christ should produce regular fruit and good works that the world can see and not notice us, but glorify our Father, which is in heaven.